Hi, my name is Kees, and I'm a spiritual teacher, and I've been for a couple of years, and I've been meditating for over 15 years. I've had, in those 15 years, lots of insights, lots of shifts, lots of glimpses, which I've also made permanent with non-dual realization, with no self-realization. If you feel called, then make sure to schedule a call with me. There's a link in the description to do that if you're ready. This video is about how to make a glimpse permanent. So you've had a glimpse or an awakening, a spiritual awakening. For example, the first awakening is often a glimpse into a lot deeper of an experience, but then it's not permanent. So how would you define a glimpse? A glimpse is seeing a deeper layer of realization for a short time. That could be days, weeks, but often it's a couple of hours. And this is truly and profoundly changing. If you get a glimpse, know that that is a reaction to some conditioning or some part of conditioning dropping. So something has changed, even though you're back from that glimpse, right? And it's not been permanent. Something has shifted. Something has changed, always. And you find yourself in a new place. And that new place is something that you need to discover, that you need to find out about. Well, how to make this glimpse then permanent? First of all, I want to say that there is this part of making a glimpse permanent, which is, we could say grace, we could say luck, but it happens when preparation meets luck or preparation meets grace. So we can make ourselves more luck prone, we could say, by living more towards the natural state already, which means we get out of our heads and we try to accept what happens, be with what is, and let ourselves be guided by the flow more. So, I'm going to offer you 3 paths. Those 3 paths are a little bit overlapping, but also a little bit different. And these paths are ways to mimic the natural state. And with that, you'll see that conditioning comes up. So the thing that limits you into not having that glimpse lock in permanently will come up with these paths. The first one I want to discuss is the path of surrender. And surrender is actually totally accepting what happens. And what is accepting what happens? That's not resisting. Not resisting your movements of the body. Not resisting your decisions. Not resisting the thing that wants to happen. Not resisting thoughts. Not resisting feelings. Not resisting anything that wants to happen, but being with it fully. And that sounds very scary for the ego because it wants control. It wants to determine what happens. It wants to think about everything. It wants to make sure that you make the right choice, which actually is a sort of mental illusion because you're going to do, or life's going to do, what it's going to do anyway. That sounds harsh, but when you go deeper in this process, you realize there's no separate self, so there's no controller. Sometimes there can be a thought of a conscious decision, but actually the next thought is the choice already made. So actually the only thing that's ever here is just what's appearing. And surrender is the way to allow what appears, to not resist the natural movements of life. So that's one way. The second way is the path of observation, or we could say the path of meditation, where we meditate, and what we do with meditation is we just close our eyes and see what happens. We practice non-resistance. Meditation is a practice in non-resistance. We just allow thoughts. We allow feelings. We allow whatever comes up. We don't try to change it. We be with it fully. We feel into it. We engage with it without needing an outcome, without needing it to go away, without needing it to change. So this is also where surrender and meditation or observation overlap. Because you're seeing something, you're not resisting it. It's kind of what surrender is. But this is more in a meditation setting where you practice sitting with your eyes closed and allowing everything. It's sort of practicing to do that more. And when you get further along in the path, you can try meditation with your eyes open. And you can try active meditation. Basically, meditation while you're working, meditation while you're driving, meditation while you're talking with your partner. This is the path of non-resistance, of observation, where the path of surrender and that of observation actually meet each other. You can see that in the end state, it very much looks like the same thing. And then I'm going to offer a third path. And that's the path of seeing through. Understanding that all thoughts are labels. There's no reality to thoughts, except thoughts itself. The thought is a pointer. Let's say if I say ginger tea, right? I can think about ginger tea all I want. I can maybe even taste it in my mouth because my body is responding to that. But that's not actually ginger tea. So the thought and that which you're seeing is not the same thing. So seeing through thoughts and understanding that the thing that's happening continuously, this labeling, this trying to know, trying to understand, trying to grasp at, trying to hold on to a thought, a concept, is actually not true. So we can see through thoughts. And in that path, we can see through our I need to do this, or I need to do that. We can see through all these steering thoughts where the mind is trying to steer us towards something. It's just not necessary. All thoughts are not necessary, and yet they're totally fine. But if we hold on to them or try to force something in thoughts, that's not what they're for. They're pointers. They're language. It's a descriptive thing. It's not an actual thing. We could say it's air. It doesn't have any substance. So seeing through thoughts and then allowing whatever wants to happen on the energetic or emotional level brings on this quietude, which is almost meditative. And it's also a little bit like the path of surrender, because when we see through thoughts, we see through choices. And with that, we see through the need to control, so we surrender. So the path of seeing through thoughts is also one way to go, to make a glimpse permanent. So these three paths are basically mimicking your natural state. Natural state is full realization, where you know that you don't know, where you know that there is no self, where you know that this is just boundless freedom, continuously happening. These paths, when followed, bring you to that permanence. Because anything that's holding you back from this glimpse being permanent is resistance. Whether it's through observation, surrender, or seeing through, it's actually all seeing through resistance. Practicing, not resisting, but allowing, fully, beautifully. And through time, and through understanding, and through deconstructing this resistance of thoughts and movements, emotions and energies, by being okay with them, by allowing them, by letting them to live themselves out, you cleanse yourself deeply and you establish yourself in your natural state, which makes this glimpse permanent for you. If you have any questions about that, look how we can work together in the description. And thanks so much for watching this. Bye-bye.